with the class rep and see, because if it is something that we can even if it's something that we can even do a weekday class, if it is possible by the class, then we will be able to do that, so that they free a bit of your weekend, so you don't sit in there for a very long time.
Okay, sir. We will discuss behind stage and then I'll revert to you, please.
Okay, but that one is actually the discretion of the class. I don't have my problem, because
okay, sir,
the main school itself is on vacation, so it's just the graduate school that we are dealing with, the M-level programs.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, we can.
All right, so the course is Design Thinking and Customer Experience. It is one of the key areas that we think a lot of corporate organizations have failed because of the fact that they don't employ design thinking in whatever they do. They rather try their best to send certain things, like deliver service or product to consumers without even having their input. And that actually defeats the purpose of marketing. But with marketing, the customer first. So the customer input is one of the critical areas within the marketing framework. So in a situation where you design products without using data, it becomes a challenge. We will look at 8 different thematic areas, and that's introduction to design thinking, empathy and user research, problem definition, ideation, and creative problem solving, prototyping, and collaboration issues in terms of co-creation, and measuring and evaluating customer experience, and presenting and implementing design solutions. So these are the key things that we are going to look at in this semester. Looking at the time, it simply means that we need to work around the clock to finish, because just Saturday class, we have to find a way to address it, because we have about 8 different key topics to address, about which we should be able to deal with. It shouldn't be a problem, because it's a course that we teach all the time, so we don't have to handle some of it. So how to handle it, so it's not a problem. When we say introduction, we are looking at the key principles that is involved with design thinking, because for every effective implementation to take place, there must be a cardinal principle that governs the whole process. So we look at that, and we look at how design thinking is also applied in a different environment, because how design thinking will be applied when we want to develop a product will be different from what we want when we want to develop a service. And it will also even be different when it comes to political decision making. If politicians want to maybe provide certain kind of social interventions to the community, design thinking is the best way to go. But most often than not, people overlook that. They say, oh, I'm giving them this. Then it becomes a challenge. So if you say I'm giving them this and they are not even happy, or they are not appreciative of whatever is happening, it becomes a challenge. Because why do you want to solve a problem for someone, but you don't need the person's input? It's actually originated from the typical African home setup, where daddy or mommy say, this is what I want for you, and you have no option. And at graduate level, we see a lot, and some of you might probably have been also a victim of some of these situations. There are some people who find themselves in school, and they think that they are going to the school for their parents, because the parents say, I'm a doctor, so you have to be a medical doctor at all costs. The boy or girl is not interested in that, but daddy says, oh, okay, I'm going, or mommy says, I'm going to the school for my parents, but not for myself. These are some of the challenges that come when design thinking is not applied. So the concept of design thinking is about looking at how we can involve the person involved or the target to become part of the creation of the whole process. Then we have what we call empathy and user research. Based on the preamble I've said, when we say empathy, empathy simply means putting yourself in the shoes of the customer, or putting yourself in the shoes of the victim of the situation. You need to empathize with the person. And the only way is that when you don't decide to put yourself in their shoes, you will not feel the way they are feeling. So you think, oh, it's okay, but we're giving you ball, you take it like that. Probably maybe their major problem is electricity. But because you think you are the one calling the shots, so you will do that. In politics, they will punish you somewhere along the line. And also when it comes to product marketing, they might decide not to buy the product. So you need to empathize with them. And how do you empathize with them? Get their input through user research. But they are one going to use the product or the service or the facility. So you have to do on that research to know exactly what they want before you even commence whatever operation you want. Then defining the problem. This is the major situation. And all of you can attest to the fact that your thesis problem definition is one of the most difficult aspects of the work. But if the problem is not clear, the solution becomes bogus. That is, like, to put it bluntly, that's what it is. If the problem is not clear, there's no way you are going to get any better solution to that problem, because the problem itself has not been defined properly. You see, like, what example can I give? Your sales is down. Then you define the problem is that sales is down. That means it is what? Still define problem, which you say, okay, the answer is, let me try and find a way to improve sales. Then you think you have solved the problem. But probably the problem should have been, what has been the effect of company A entering the market on our sales? When you define it like that, then you know that maybe you could lead that competition is the one creating the problem based on your past actions. And therefore, it helps you to be able to understand the market dynamics and be able to do it. Because if you say sales is down and that is the problem, the only way you can resolve the sales is that maybe do what we call consumer-induced sales by introducing, running the sales promotion in order to boost the sales. But you are just treating what? The symptoms, but you are not looking at what the root cause of sales being down. So problem definition is very critical. And in research, all of you are writing things, so I have to come in there. When you are defining your problem statement, don't just look at the organization has done A, B, C, and D, and therefore there's a problem. The problem needs to come from two perspectives. One is the practical problem, but the depth of the knowledge based on the fact that you are doing research and it's academic exercise, there must be a problem related to literature. So what are the gaps in there? Maybe somebody look at customer experience and purchase intention. That has been the existing literature or existing work that has been done. You are coming in, you are talking about the same customer experience and purchase intention. But then you said this work has been done by maybe Kenneth, but Kenneth didn't look at the role of customer engagement. So customer engagement now becomes the gap that you are trying to fill in research. So it is very important that when you are defining your problem statement from your thesis perspective, define it very well, and include literature. What work has been done and what are the gaps in there, because that is what you are coming to fill. It is very, very important that you do that. With design thinking, we can just go straight with what the practicality aspect of it, but I'm telling you this because very soon I'll find a time to, I'm the coordinator, so I'll find a time and run thesis clinic for you so that you have a perspective as to what exactly you are supposed to present for your final thesis. And please start engaging your supervisors and start writing, because there's no time. Now, those who, the other departments, they started before us. They are now struggling because their deadline for submission of the thesis and subsequent defense is near, but the work has not reached anyway. I don't want that to happen to our department. So please work around the clock. If you have any problem, we have WhatsApp number platform that I'm part of it, so you know my number. You can quickly call on me for me to step in, because we don't want to leave anybody behind. That will be a very bad situation. We are all working as a family, so make sure we work on that perspective. Then, after the problem definition, we move on to what we call ideation. That way, how do we create the ideas to solve the problem? In ideation situation, what we normally do is that we brainstorm and we encourage different ideas. It is not that stage that we judge people. That stage is to encourage people to bring ideas as possible. So if you are the team lead and you decide that you just be shutting people down or look down upon them, you will not get the best ideas. So at the ideation stage, you have to allow people to talk. That's what design thinking is saying. Then based on that, when we are able to select the best idea, because we allow people to brainstorm and bring a lot of ideas. All the ideas cannot be used. Some are feasible, some are not. So the ones that are not feasible, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to select the best and forget about the ones that are not feasible. Then based on that, we move on to come out with the best. Then from there, we move on to prototype, where we select, we put the idea into motion by coming out with maybe a skeletal solution to the problem and run it. Sometimes we do what we call, just get the prototype and let's see how it's going to be like. Then from there, collaboration and co-creation is where we bring different stakeholders also on board, especially when it comes to providing solutions to people, a situation. Co-creation, there's something we call service dominant logic. Service dominant logic. When everybody, like a marketer, is talking and said SD logic, he's talking about a service dominant logic. What it means is that in marketing, we create value. We don't offer product and service anymore, but we create value. But for the value to be created, SD logic is telling us that, or is suggesting that we have to make sure that process and resources. One is about knowledge and skill. If we develop if we develop an app that consumers will use to buy things online, the consumers need to also have knowledge in order to be able to use that app. And based on the knowledge that they have, that will help us to create the value, because it's the value that we want to offer. By giving them convenience, that's the value. But they need certain skills in order to be able to let the value happen. So that's why we say co-creation. Co-creation simply means that the two parties, the one providing the service and the one using the service, needs to come together in order to co-create the value. So stakeholders are involved. Then also, the concept of interdisciplinary idea creation is very, very important. Bring different teams from different finance, maybe marketing, IT, all of them come together to create that value. Then everything that we do, there must be KPIs, that's key performance indicators. So we need to measure, and we need to have indicators that we are going to use to measure. If you don't have that indicators, you cannot measure anything. That is why in every situation, you need to set objectives first before we deliver. Just a minute, please. Okay, so based on that, then we'll be able to measure and see whether we are getting there and also collect feedback. And that is the concept of design thinking. The rest is presentation and implementation of the design solution. That one is just when everything is done, then we have to know how we are going. What are the processes involved? Any question, please? So, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are how many? 15 or 16? Kenneth, we are how many in
Sir,
class?
please, currently we are 16. I'm told January 2026 batch are taking the class with us. But
Okay.
currently, I don't really know the numbers. So I think
But your class was how many?
we were 12.
We're 12.
Yes, please.
So that means we have about 3 people also joining.
Yes, please. For now, yes. We're like, which should even be more. So I'm sure maybe they I don't know, but yesterday some people tested me and I added them to our group. So
Okay.
I'm expecting more than the numbers today.
That is fine.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay, so basically that is what design thinking is about. Any question, please, before we set the ball rolling? Hello. All right. So if there are no questions, then let's commence the class now. Can you see the screen, please?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So,
Yes, sir.
so this is our introductory class. And like based on the outline, which I will let all of the outline be available on the learning management system. And also there is an ongoing project where there's a study guide being designed for all the programs. Currently, I think about 4 of them are ready for review. So when the review is done by the unit, we are yet to submit anyway. So when it is done, it will be available for you to know, especially the January class, to know the things they are supposed to read and all those things. Because going forward, we need to enhance the way we work. Did you have class this morning?
Yes, sir, we had.
Oh, okay. And so how many classes? 1, right? Or 2? Ken?
There is
Hello?
3 classes.
Hello, sir.
We did 1 tomorrow.
So you did 2 before this one?
No, we did 1.
Yeah, we did 1.
Okay.
Yes, please.
All right, so introduction to design thinking. And the session objective is, 1, we need to understand the concepts and philosophy of design thinking. We need to explain key principles underpinning the design thinking. Then apply the design thinking process to real-world problems. Then we identify the application in marketing and innovation. That's the design thinking application to marketing and innovation. So these are the key things that we have to look at for today. With the concept, they say, what is design thinking? Design thinking is a human-centered approach to problem solving. When we say a human-centered approach to problem solving, that means you need to have the recipient of the solution be part of the problem solving approach. So you don't do what we call ivory tower kind of approach, where you sit in your office and you decide it's for them. You need to find a way. That is why in most cases, even when like the end of the semester, they say evaluation. Why are they saying evaluation? They use evaluation to know students' experience and probably use it in improving upon what is supposed to be done in the next class. That's why I say, based on popular feedback and other things, we realize that we have to develop a decent learning class, and therefore we need to develop a comprehensive study guide. So you know the course outline, you know the likely kind of activities, areas you need to read, and all those things ought to be part of it, so that it becomes more easier for all of us to deal with it. So that is how it is. It is a human-centered approach to problem solving. Then it focuses on user needs, creativity, and experimentation. Who are the users? What are their needs? How creative can we be in order to be able to serve them better or provide a solution to their problem? Then in order to do that, there must be experimentation, because when it gets to prototyping and the test, it is where we have to understand that there is the need for us to be able to experiment, get the best out of it. When problems are solved this way, it makes the job more easier. Like make us not making a lot of mistakes. We need to work about this. Then how does it work? It integrates analytical and creative thinking together. You need to analyze the situation very well, and you have to be creative. These are the two key things that you have to do. If you don't analyze the situation, you will bring a wrong solution to the problem, because situations can be different, especially when it comes to, let's say, customer experience. Multinational organizations, they have been successful in the UK, so they think the UK market is Ghanaian market. That means they are not analyzing the situation very well. Culture, country-specific culture can even change the situation, and therefore you have to be very analytical. That is why in some cases they say critical thinking. You need to analyze the situation very well and know exactly what the problem is. And if that is not done, it becomes a problem. Like an example I can give is somebody say, oh, with me, I'm a promoter of sports, so, and I'm a businessman, I'm into sports. I'm into sports. So what I want to do is that I want to bring ice hockey to Ghana. Have you analyzed the data concerning our country-specific temperature, which hovers around 40 degrees, and you say you want to promote ice hockey? How are you going to do that? Are you bringing a temperature control facility or not? So these are the things, when you say you have to analyze the situation, you have to know. The same thing applies to market segmentation. How many youth from the age maybe 18 to probably 35, if they form the chunk of the population, based on your analysis, you know, so that if you are a clothing retailer, you know that you need more trendy kind of things than people who are older, who are old-fashioned, and therefore they are not interested in the current trends that we have. So if the chunk of your market is like that, based on your analysis, then you'll be able to satisfy them very well by providing the best out of them, best for them. But if you don't do that, and you say, oh, but everybody is buying jeans, everybody is buying that. Yes, there are jeans and there are jeans. There are some people who want jeans that started. There are people who also want jeans that is like more or less like a trouser, like decent without any blemish anyway. And that is the old-fashioned people, while the younger ones need something that is more against the norm and all those things. So your analysis is very, very important. And that is why design thinking is very important, because when you are able to analyze the situation, then you will be able to be creative, because you have data concerning what is happening in the market. And that data is what you intend to use in order to satisfy your target and satisfy them. If that is not done, then you are in for a big trouble. So what are we saying here? We say design thinking is a human-centered approach. It focuses on the user needs and creativity, and call for what creative thinking based on what analysis or how good in terms of how analytical you are. So design thinking as a mindset is more than a tool or a framework. You don't say, oh, okay, design thinking, they say you have to follow this. No, it is more than a tool. It's about what the mindset. There are, you see, let me give you like a trend that we've seen, and we are even trying to develop a topic and write a paper on. We are looking at how come foreigners come to Ghana, they engage in retailing, and they are very successful. But the Ghanaian context itself, like when it comes to the Ghanaians, we set up the shops and they collapse. Is it something that they do before they start the shop that we don't know? We need to find out, because probably maybe there's quite a lot of assessment that has gone on before they decide to even enter into the Ghanaian market. And some of them, they even raise the money here and set up the shop here. And they become like a retail chain or a supermarket chain doesn't like the situation like Malcolm. They are almost all over the country, but they started as a small shop. What then happens? Is there something that they are studying that we are not doing it? So, like I said, design thinking as a mindset. You encourage empathy, curiosity, and openness towards failure. There are some people, they are always afraid to fail in every venture that they entered into. And when you do that, we are not saying like failure is a good thing. No. But once the human environment, automatically failure will happen, whether we like it or not. Even some of the decisions that we take, even at the church, will lead to a situation where there is agitation. It is normal because it's a human enterprise. Definitely you have that issues. But when you have the issues, how you deal with the issues is the most important thing, but not like the issue has occurred. Where there are some people, oh, I told you that this thing will not work. Already you have that defensive mindset that the things will not work, so you want to avoid it at all costs. So you are praying that it will happen. But you have to have that mindset that, look, yes, we can implement something that will fail, but how do we address the situation when that thing happens? It's very, very important. How curious are we to know exactly why people are doing what they do? I remember we went to the north, and what this a project for USA got to do with the family planning or birth control kind of issues. And the model that we did was like, okay, we have birth control pills, definitely for female, for ladies, or for women. Let me put it that for women. And we thought when we are able to organize a gathering made up of women, that we introduce the medication and all those things, we will be successful. So we sat as a team, work on it, like looking at we were thinking about what type of event that can attract women and all those things with a lot of incentives. But then we realized that 6 months down the line, things are not working the way it's supposed to be. So when it happens like that, they say, okay, fine. Those who are into development communication should sit as a team and brainstorm what's the way forward. Then we were commissioned to go and conduct research to find out exactly how best we can reintroduce the product because it wasn't working. So per our interaction, then we realized that, look, that particular part of the world, it is men who take that decision, but not women. So with all the things that the team have done concerning the thought that they've been able to like interact with a lot of women, it was just for the face value of it, but in terms of impact, it was zero. So it was based on that we recommend that there might be what we call men's class. And the men's class is like we find like we use certain incentive mechanism to gather men who are married and like work with them and introduce the product. And when we did that, they went through certain processes in terms of they have to come in, we need to educate them, we need to have a drama with them and all those things. Then we realized that we are now getting results. So what it is like that has it been the fact that we say, oh, it will not work, so let's go away. We've not done a good job. So we're open to like the failure has happened. We throw quite a lot of money away. But then let's also be curious and see what exactly are the alternative way to address it. And when we got the men's class, that was the best because in their part, it is men who decide whatever women need to do, and not women, they decide whatever they want to do. But that concept of the Saudi city kind of approach, like independent women and all those things, doesn't work in their part of the world. So you need to able to always know that failure can happen, but when it happens, you don't just throw your hand. You have to be open to it because it will happen. And when it happens, you learn from it. Then the concept, that mindset will also promote what we call learning through experimentation. So you are experimenting something. Like when we went there and we were giving the pills out and all those things. It is, even though it's part of the product promotion, we're also experimenting about to see a change in attitude, which is not all that straightforward and easy. So yes, you experiment, you use other alternative. That's what marketing communication is about. You don't just say, this is what we want to do. You have to study the grounds and see the best way to address it. So how did the whole thing even originate? Design thinking, as a matter of fact, was originated from industrial and product design concept, where that's where it started, and was adopted by engineers and architects in looking at what ought to be done. Then later was popularized in business and innovation. So when they realized that, okay, if architect can design a building, you need to involve people who own the building and what they want to use the facility for. Based on that, they will tell you their story, then you also tell them, and based on that, you agree on a common ground, like each and every one meet each other halfway, then we are able to take care of. So engineers, yes, they have to involve customers, do what we call focus group discussion and other things to know what type of product they need to bring. And now businesses realize that, look, in order for us to also be able to produce and sell and be able to make a lot of money out of it, we need design thinking so that we can be innovative in the way we do things. And innovation is key because you cannot do the same thing and expect different results. If it were to be those days, there's nothing like weekend school. So whoever wants to go to school, you have to take study leave and go to school Monday to Friday. But then people who deliver tertiary education realize that, look, what about those who go to work and still want to go to school? Let's try and collect data and see whether that is a sentiment out there that we cannot go to school because of our work. Then they realize that that is the case. So now they have evening school, they have weekend school. Why do they have that? They have that because they want to create that element of flexibility. Because if you say, oh, when you go to Ghana, there are a lot of universities. Are they being able to satisfy the people? Maybe, yes, there are a lot of universities, but all of them run the program in such a way that unless you take study leave before you can come to the school, then you are not involving the people. So you have to be innovative. That is why they have evening, they have weekends, and they have main school. Depending on your availability, you can have a slot. That is how innovative tertiary education delivery has become. So yes, it has got its historical connotations, and therefore you have to look at it from that perspective. The question therefore is why design thinking is relevant today. Who can tell us? Now let's start the interactivity. Why do you think it's important? Who can tell us? Please feel free, especially my January people. Feel free, we are all one family. And so don't say these people, we don't know them or whatever. With distant learning class, we hardly even know somebody. So it shouldn't be a problem. Just let's brainstorm and make the class more interactive. So why do you think design thinking is relevant today? Please, I'm waiting. I don't want to call you.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, it improves.
Yes, so
Okay, so Paul first, please.
Okay.
yes. So we are trying as much as possible to solve problem having our customers in mind. That's customer centered.
Okay. So yes, that one we know, but why is it important? Paul,
Yes, sir.
what I'm saying is that you say we are trying to solve a problem by having customer in mind.
Yes,
The
please.
question is why is it relevant that we have to have the customer in mind?
So trying to co-create having the customer in mind by bringing out the problems that customers might be facing and what we will be able to customize the program to suit that, so that at the end of the day, we'll meet ourselves halfway.
Very good. Yeah, that is what it is. What again, please? Yes, Kenneth.
So I was saying, innovation too can be enhanced when, like, it's also an importance of design thinking, because in the sense that if maybe a solution has to be raised or has to be solved, they have to explore with multiple choices so that at least they decide on one particular result or something, please.
Okay. Yes, who else, please? This is the marketing classroom. We need to talk. Marketers talk.
Yeah,
all
please.
the time. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So once we have,
William, yeah.
yes, sir. Once we have the customer involved in the designing the identified problem, designing the solution to the identified problem for the customer, that process will help us to be able to know the customer's expectations, so as to be able to design the product to meet that customer's expectations.
That is very, very true. I like the response. So yes, it will help you address complex and not ambiguous problem by knowing, if you know the customer perspective, it will help you to know how complex the situation is. Because you might think that, like in our case, when we give the medication to the people, it's for free, so they will take it. Yes, they took the medication, all right, but they didn't use it. You get it? So we realize that the situation is far complex than just mere fact of organizing a endeavor, giving them certain incentives, and give them the medication. Some of them will even throw the medicine away before they get home, knowing purposely that it will even cause their marriage and all those things. So sometimes, yes, the problem is complex, and we need to understand the user perspective in order to be able to address it. Then help us also respond to changing customer expectations. Customers, like we said, are very dynamic people. They are not static. The market today, even in the next 2 months, the market can change drastically, depending on the situation on the ground or the environment that is the prevailing environment. So all the time, we need to know that customer expectations can change, even tastes can change. And therefore, we have to adopt that design thinking mindset in dealing with it. And also reduces innovation risk. Once the customer is involved, whatever innovation we need to bring in, it doesn't, the risk level is reduced. We are not saying risk is not there. It's there, but risk, you cannot avoid risk. The only thing you do that you have to reduce the risk. So if we want to talk about the relevance of design thinking, then that is what we can look at. Let's put this question down, please. Discuss, you are writing. Discuss the relevance of design thinking discuss the relevance in design thinking in the modern market economy. In the modern market economy. Design the relevance of design thinking in the modern market economy using relevant examples. Using relevant examples.
Sir, please, can you come again?
Yeah, right. Well, I said design the relevance of design thinking in the modern market economy.
Okay, please.
Using relevant examples. Can I move on, please?
Yes, please.
Okay. So now let's look at the design thinking versus traditional approach. They say traditional approach are linear and what? Solution-focused approach. Design thinking is iterative and user-centered, focused on exploration and learning. What it is that, like a traditional approach, I've already spoken about that. What I said was that you just don't prefer solutions to a particular problem and you say you are done. Or maybe the problem might be deeper than that, but in traditional approach to planning, what the planners used to do is that, okay, they need this. This is the new type of maybe borehole, mechanized borehole that they have to get. You have not even asked yourself whether they know how to even operate that mechanized borehole. If it is the best for them, probably you have to conduct research to know what level of education do they need so that it doesn't break down. Because you see, people have not even looked at it from that perspective. There are a lot of mechanized boreholes that politicians have done in this country. That is certainly like within a short time it breaks down. The politician or the agency is more interested in the fanfare of it. So they go and commission it, then they clap their hands and they go, thinking that the people have to be able to use it at all costs. What is their level of expertise or skill? Because if they need a particular skill that is not there, it will break down. And they say, oh, the people, when you do something for them, then they spoil it. That's how you define the problem. Meanwhile, too, you didn't define the problem like what skill is needed in order to be able to operate that particular borehole, mechanized borehole. So it is not straightforward like that. What you do when you provide things or you plan towards solution to a problem in that way, we are doing that traditional approach and it will not work. But with design thinking, user-centered approach, can the users use the borehole? That is the first question you need to ask yourself. But if you say, oh, the usage is very simple, who told you it is simple? What research have you conducted in the locality to know that it is simple? Because the last time I checked, they say common sense is common, but not common to all common people. So what it simply means is that you need to be able to find out exactly about 17 mechanized boreholes. This is a typical political talk. It is a typical political talk because you just want to get the fanfare of it. But when it comes to impact, it's zero. They themselves will even be angry with you on the ground that, look, you like to us by bringing something that cannot last. That might not be your intention, but remember, it's a human environment. So you need to explore, know their perspective. Probably maybe there are 3 different sets of mechanisms that they can use, like boreholes with different mechanization. Which one will resonate well with the people in terms of their skill so that they will be able to use it? It's very, very critical. If you don't do that and you say, oh, we are giving them about 70 boreholes, you talk and you think you are okay. And people say that also, what has been the impact? You say, but it's there, everybody can see. It's not about everybody can see. Can they be able to use it? It's very, very important. But there are some companies that even want to come to certain countries, but they don't go there because they think that the level of skill that is needed to even assess their products or use their products, the knowledge is not there yet, and therefore they cannot. So it is very, very important that we know that with design thinking, we are exploring and also we are learning. Traditional, we just do what we call linear approach. From point 1 to point B to point C, we're giving the solution. This is the solution. You don't have water. This is a borehole. They are done. That is solution focus. They don't have water, so this is a borehole. But have you asked yourself whether they can be able to use it? Then they say human-centered. We talk about human-centered innovation. We start with users rather than what assumptions. We want to come out with a borehole. Fine. The idea is that what do they need? They say they need water. So there's no any stream, or we cannot build a dam across, or that is the second phase in terms of the thinking. Then we need to go to the community. Then they ask them a lot of questions concerning how they think they can get, like, what can provide a solution to the water problem. Because remember, even in corporate world, when you involve people in your decisions, they tend to own the decision and therefore they protect it. When you don't involve them, they see it as something that doesn't belong to them, and therefore they are not connected, they are not part of it. So they will do things anyhow, thinking that with the mindset that they are not part of it. You decided to give it to them. So you don't assume. You will have to rather consult the people. Don't base your decision on assumption. Then you explore behavior, emotions, and what context. Like I said, yes, you know they need water. You know they need electricity. You cannot provide the two items for them at the same time. But you sit in your office and decide that, okay, let me give them water. Probably they will not be emotionally connected, or they will be negatively emotionally connected to it, because when you decided to do that, they have maybe two streams in the village, which are all good and they use it. So to them, electricity might be even dear to their heart than the water, because the water, they know that the streams are there for them to get water. You see, so you don't decide them because you want to look at their behavior. If all of them are like based on observation, if all of them go to the stream to fetch the water and they are not complaining, then water will not be their priority, even though to you they need like more hygienic kind of approach. They don't see it as something of which is a matter of urgency. But for the lights, they will like it, because for you may know, it could be funny. But you see, when you are dealing with what we call base of the pyramid people, like those who are more interested in physiological need, Maslow hierarchy of need theory, their perspective about certain things are very different. So when you have self-actualized and you think that you can just be in there and give them something that you think is okay for them, because you think you are wise, you are making a lot of mistakes. Well, the electricity and the water analogy, probably the women, for example, that is the best time for them to meet and discuss matters among themselves when they go to fetch the water. So when you are taking that thing away and you think that you are doing them good, they can ask quite a lot of questions. When you become a researcher, you understand some of this concept that I'm talking about. Because Ghana is not Accra. Even if it's certain part of Accra, when you get there, you ask yourself, is it part of Ghana? So that is how you look at it. They have to be emotionally connected to whatever solutions that you're giving them. But that solution, the only way they can be positively and emotionally connected is based on the fact that you didn't use assumption. You didn't assume that this is what they want. So you have to also recognize what we call latent and unarticulated needs. There are some things that they talk about is peripheral, like this is not actually the exact need, but that thing needs to happen before something else, the actual problem could be solved. So the three innovation constraints that affect people when we want to innovate, what are the constraints or what are the difficulties of desirability? Do users want it? That's the things you have to know. Do they really want it? Their feasibility. Can it be built or can it be done or can it be provided? Then viability. Is it sustainable? These are the three things that we have to know. Desire for it, possibility of being built, and how can we sustain it? These are the three key things that we have to understand. If we don't appreciate any of this, it becomes a problem. Like you say you are providing electricity to a particular village. You ask yourself, these are people for years, they've never paid electricity bill before. So based on your analysis, that issue needs to come in, because the only way it could be sustainable is the fact that you will be able to sustain it. So if there are people who have not paid electricity bill for so many years, because electricity is not part of their life, but now they have desire for it. Probably they have desire for it, but they think that electricity is for government. And when we live in the urban center, you might think, oh, but how can somebody think like that? There are people who are more or less, what they know is they go to their farms, they come back, and that is the end of the day. They don't even know whatever is going on in the world. And you say, oh, but is it possible? Yes, it is. So for the sustainability issues, you need to be able, that is where you have to look at it carefully and see how best you'll be able to address the situation. I'll give you this example. We were International Nutrition Foundation and University of Ghana, and there's a company, we call it Ajinomoto. They are from Japan. Its product line is just like Nestle. There is a multi-product company like that. The three institutions jointly develop a product that they put in a local porridge, like cocoa for children, because they say, per the research, when children, after taking breast milk for some time, when they are weaning them off, they give them cocoa, and the cocoa that they give them is just cocoa and sugar. So like double carbohydrate, and therefore it creates what we call faltering age. So the child cannot grow like the normal growth. Some of them, yes, people grow normal growth, but some of them will have what we call faltering age growth, because they lack the necessary product. Sustainability purpose, they need to sell the product to the winning mothers. And what they did analysis, and they said, okay, they will send the product, they will sell the and you feed the child with it. Analysis that is okay. They brought it to about 20 pesos. That is fine. But in attempt like when they were going for the production, then one Japanese professor said, you guys, have you assessed what we call purchasing power capability? Because you said, no, for 20 pesos it's okay, but have you assessed the purchasing power capability of your target? That is your target market. Well, that target market was the local villages. So what they did, okay, fine. Then let's bring some marketing person in to look at the situation before even we start production, so that we know what we have to do. So myself and some few guys were brought in. Then we have to travel to some of the remote villages to conduct research. Then when we got there, like there was a day that they told us that, oh, we should come the following day because there will be, they say, disbursement. That day is a disbursement day. I don't know what is disbursement day. So they do this kind of local savings mobilization. So it's the day that they have to call all of them. Then how much money you've saved with them, we have to give it to you. That is what they were doing. So it was Care Ghana was the one doing it. This NGO at the north. So when we went there the following day, it was a very interesting exercise. They call it Village Savings and Loan Association, VLS. So when we were there, they did the ceremony. Then I saw how much money they were getting. I said, what? And people were so happy. And that's the money that when they give it to you, when somebody give it to you, you will not even say thank you. So then I asked the coordinator that, how much are they supposed to pay for like a day? He said, no, they don't pay for a day, but they're supposed to pay 50 pesos a week. And yes, the people cannot afford. So those who make quite a lot of money are the ones who bring their soya bean and other things to the organization to sell it, send it way to the market center to sell. And that's where they can make some money for the savings. So when we look at that, that was the very interesting observation that we witnessed. And therefore our job is over. So our report was simple. If people cannot afford 50 pesos a week, and the child will eat cocoa 3 times and he needs 1 sachet, that means 60 pesos for even a day. So what then happens? So all our recommendation was that, look, get an NGO to purchase the product, and when they go for this kind of, what we call it, I don't know the name they use for it, when they send the babies to these community health nurse people. In our local, like local, we call it way. That's what they call it, but I think there's a name for it, proper name for it. Like so, see, when they go there for the normal checkup or attendance, then they will be able to give them, like they will give them like what in those days they used to do. Like when you go to that section, when you are coming, they give you certain nutritious foods that you have to add and give to the baby. That's the tangent they have to go. So they need to get a grant in order to be able to do that because the people cannot afford. That's how it is. So sustainability is very, very important in everything that we do. And when you don't say it's innovation, then you start clapping yourself. How do you sustain? Card. Those who introduce this actually look at it from that perspective, because like looking at sustainability, and then when they get to the market, offload the the money based on whatever they buy. So yes, you need to have it, but you have to be sustainability. So what are the key principles of design thinking? Empathy is one. We are writing it that one is empathy. Two is problem solving. Three is ideation. The other one is prototyping. Iteration or tests. Then collaboration. So the key principles are 5. That is empathy, problem, ideation, prototyping, tests. But collaboration is one of the issues that will help us to actually achieve whatever we have to look at. So the first principle is what? Empathy. Deep understanding of the user needs. That's why I said, put yourself in the shoes of the user. It goes beyond demographic to emotions. Uses interviews and observations because you want to know exactly how they are feeling. And the only way you'll be able to do that is your ability to empathize with them. The difference between empathy and sympathy, they are not the same. So please take note. Empathy is different from sympathy. So you have to understand that. So yes, you have to have a deep understanding of the user needs. And the only way you can do that is that you have to behave like the user so that you understand them very well. It's just like something emotionally has happened. Then somebody says, so is that why you are crying? You are not there, so you don't even know what the person feels. But if you empathize and know what current situation the person finds himself, then you will not ask that question. So yes, you have to have a deep understanding. Then also, it can be done based on the observation that you have or the issues at stake. Then, problem reframing, that identifies root cause of the problem. What is the problem? What is the actual cause of that problem? Okay, students are not passing exam. What is the problem? Oh, the students, they are lazy, they are not learning. Is that the case? Probably not. The cause could be that textbooks are not available. You have one textbook and you are the one setting the questions. You are setting the question from the textbook, which they don't have. So the root cause is not what? The root cause is the textbook that is not available, but not the fact that they are not learning. So you need to know the problem very well. The challenges or the initial assumption. So you don't see like initial assumption in my case, we say, oh, they are not learning. But I'm assuming that, oh, they are lazy, they are not learning. But the cause of the problem is that when we try to reframe the problem, we say that, okay, if we provide textbook for each and every student, what will be the outcome? That means based on the fact that we know the root cause. Now we reframe the problem into provision of lack of textbooks. So provision of textbooks will be an opportunity for us to be able to deal with that. That is how it is. And remember, the essence of this exercise is for what? They say design thinking and customer experience. So what will be their experience when they have each and everyone has got a textbook, but not the one that like they have about 3 of them. So the entire class, they put them around one table. For each group will have one exercise book, one textbook. Somebody will just be a spectator. He will not even say anything. And that is how the whole process works. So always we have to know that the problem ought to be reframed and reframed properly. Then ideation. Here we want to now come out with idea because we know the problem. So we encourage divergent thinking. When we say divergent thinking, what are we saying here? People have different perspectives about how the problem could be solved. We have to allow them. If you don't encourage them, they will keep the ideas to themselves and the problem will never be solved. Because there are some people, when you talk them down, once you talk them down, they are aggrieved, but they will not tell you. They will not bring any idea. That is one. But idea, they will bring it. Then the second aspect of it is that they are praying that the idea will fail. So you have to encourage them to bring the ideas, and you have to generate multiple alternative solutions to the particular problem. So like with this analogy, are we looking at getting the textbook for each and every one, or probably building a library that will host quite a lot of textbooks, which is also more or less equivalent to the total size of the class, and therefore it will be there for maybe the next couple of years so that the new people, when they come, they can still use it. These are the solutions, alternative solutions that could come in. Or if it's a place that we can give them the electronic version of the books, can we make it available so that that one will be more easier? There's no wear and tear anywhere. These are the questions you ask. And in management situation, you have to provide alternative solution. Then, based on the fact that you are hot, generating ideas, you have to suspend judgment initially. Don't judge anybody. It was a brainstorming session. As soon as you judge people, trust me, they will go to their corner. That like you are the team lead for the solution to a particular problem, and therefore you are at the idea generation stage. All that you do is that when somebody says something, oh, by you, I know you that you are not going, you have never said any sensible thing before. How do you expect such a person to contribute to the solution to the problem? You will not generate any idea again. Well, based on your initial utterances, you know that, oh, let me go. You telling somebody alone can also affect the person who was also more eager to say something. That let me keep my mind to myself, because if I don't take care, I'll be embarrassed, which I don't want to be. So that is how it is. Then the third cardinal principle is prototyping. You create simple representation of ideas. Focus on learning rather than what perfection. Reduces what the cause of the failure. But the prototype is not the actual solution to the problem. We are just coming out with maybe a skeletal type of a solution to the problem. And when we realize that it will work, then we can look at it from that perspective. So iteration is the solution evolved through feedback. Failure is treated as what learning. Continuous refinement improve outcomes. So yes, how do you get a feedback? You test, and when you test, you are able to know that yes, this is the feedback that we are getting, and based on that, you'll be able to address the situation as this. Then collaboration, we relies on multidisciplinary teams. The teams are coming from maybe creative work, planning, finance, marketing, production. All of us need to come together and be able to encourage diverse perspective in terms of maybe the market is excited that the product will work based on whatever they are doing, but if a finance person happen to be there, they will tell you the cost involved in producing one unit, and therefore you will not be all that excited, but rather look at how do we cut costs. Production will come in, very important, and help in improving creativity and solution quality when collaborations are done. So what is the design thinking process itself? Empathy starts, we define, we ideate, we prototype, then we test. So the test is where you get the feedback. So these are the 5 design thinking process. Please let's write it. The 5 design thinking process are, then you list them. The 5 design thinking process are, you list them. Start from empathy, that is 1. Then it comes to define, that is 2. And it follows like that. Are you done, please?
Yes, please. Said it starts with empathize, define, or empathize and test.
No, empathize and define.
Okay, define and then
So
ideas.
from,
Okay, sir.
yeah, so from empathy, it goes like,
Okay. Please, a set of Rich.
Yes, so Charlie, feel like if I Adam or if I prompt him.
No, I've sent him the link. I don't. Or probably he's gotten the call. Let me
No.
check with him, please.
Make we close here.
Bad man.
Who said we should close?
I'm also.
Lord, are you tired? You know, Lord,
But
you see the fact that we stayed home for two months, man. It's like not the school mood deactivate for me, crowd.
I swear,
I said school near you, among can
Anthony, Okasa saw about.
how I wish say like by now we are done with this thing, eh? Hey,
Anthony,
your friend is saying, when Nana say all can is it homework? Me man you.
Anthony, how many courses are left after this 3?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Do you they ask the questions more so?
hey, Clement, someone,
Clement,
please, this is the official page. Anthony, count to.
oh yeah. Okay. Oh, what can I say? What can I say
You
about
can
this?
back the way you record you. Maybe
We are
why?
talking about the school now. How many courses we left?
Oh, yeah,
We
talk on our
are
page.
left with 6 for the June. No, for the
Huh?
June. We are left with
6.
6, and then yeah. Let's see.
How 6?
No, sorry.
When we are done with this,
Hold on.
6 again.
Hold on. No, we are doing 3, and then we are left with another 3.
Wow. I thought
Yes,
3
and
too.
then no, it's 3, and then our thesis. That's it.
So
Now
this one is 3. Then we have additional 3 to do again. Then the
exactly.
TVs. That's all.
Yes, please.
Hey, then in 5, I have 3.
I'm telling you.
No.
Courses. Wow.
Well,
On my question be, are we supposed to do it or we are supposed to go and just?
well, he has not said anything yet. So I think we should just note it down. We should just take this
But
question down.
you have two WhatsApp pages, so why? Why?
Anthony, train your course by no course by. But I mean the more.
Mawan.
Chief Mawan.
Chief Mawan in the birthday.
Yeah, course by no course by no.
Yeah, some
Yeah, afraid of my animal.
I got you saying, I just saw you.
Mawan.
Oh, I am
Mawan.
Yes,
Mawang, Anthony, please. Hold on. Rachel.
Mawan, energy course and how far? The assignment.
Mawang, please. Mawang, please.
Hello?
Rachel, you were asking.
Someone mentioned my name.
Yes, Rachel, I saw your message that where is the lecturer? You know, he just got power outage in his area, so he said he's trying to reconnect and then he'll get back to us on the line. So please can you
PRO.
But what time will we close?
Please, it's 2 to 6.
Hey.
Oh, Charlie.
Please hold on.
Just now.
Rachel, you have not gotten to anywhere. So please,
tired.
Rachel.
Where's Fafa?
Rachel,
Yes, I'm tired.
Rachel, yes, I know, but please, she was support with because
Where's Fafa?
Especially Power BI.
Okay.
Please, Fafa.
Say hello.
Papa, tell Rachel something.
Fafa.
Please, I beg you. Let's control our mood, please. I beg, please. We can do this backstage. I beg you. So please, kindly hold on, okay? If he gets back, I will revert to you. So please, kindly mute yourselves. Especially Lord, Mawan, mute yourself.
Yes, Lord.
Oh, what I do again?
Lord, mute yourself.
Okay. Oh, yeah, too why?
Yeah, hello?
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. We are here.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you
That's
know
okay.
Ghana and the things that normally happen.
Yes, please, we do.
It's a bit kind of a challenge, but if with this one self, I'm not halfway through because it's a new laptop. I just configure it.
Yes, sir. That's fine.
It's a new laptop. The
Okay.
good thing is that it was on charge, so I have to configure it. The only thing is that I cannot retrieve the slide because it is on the other one.
Oh, okay.
So let me try then because I also don't want to work without the slides. I don't know how. Because there are some people they need to also be seen so that they can follow.
Yes, please. Sir, especially the ladies, Rachel and then Fafa.
PRO. PRO.
Papa is there.
Yes, Fafa is.
Papa, how are you? Oh, nice.
Sir, please,
Papa, how are you?
fine.
Yeah, yes.
Sir,
Now Fafa has counterparts. We have Rachel, Sefako. Yes, if I'm right by pronouncing the name, and I think one other lady. So now Fafa is not a.
I know all of them because when they were doing the interview, I was part of the panel.
Okay.
So they are not new. Yeah. So like I said,
before then, I have a question to ask.
Okay, please go ahead.
Please, I want to know where we can focus to tackle when dealing with design thinking. Are we to focus on the root cause first or the immediate cause? Because I know there are instances where we were able to provide an ample solution to the root cause, but in the near future, there's an immediate cause. So I want to know which one we are supposed to tackle first when dealing with design thinking.
You are Lord, right? Or what's your name, please?
I'm Lord. Lord.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we okay, let me answer your question. Before a problem surfaces, right? When the problem surfaces, it becomes what the immediate. Is that not the case?
Yes, please.
Yeah. But there could be a root cause to that problem, right?
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that, yes, there is a need for the solution. Sometimes it is immediate, but that is not the solution. That one, we are treating the symptoms, right? So what you have to do is that in order for you to be able to address the problem properly, you have to go back and see what is actually the cause of the problem. Are you getting me, please?
Yes, please.
Yeah, because let's say the example I gave was they say students are not learning because they failed the exam. However, when we go to the situation properly, we realize that it's not about students are not learning. So if they say students are not learning and you try to treat the symptoms, you will say that, okay, fine, I'm giving you multiple assignments for you to go read the assignments or giving you multiple tests to read. Meanwhile, there's no textbook for them to deal with it. So the first, you have to know the root cause. And the root cause is the situation where sometimes we miss it because we always treat the symptoms and forget about the actual cause of the situation. So when you treat the symptoms, you think that, okay, based on the fact that we've given them an assignment or they should go and do it so that they will be able to pass exams and pass well. You are not solving the problem because the problem is that non-availability of this textbook is actually the problem. So you will be there thinking that we're giving them assignment, then one student will come to them and say, okay, fine, say, in fact, the assignment that you're giving us, you made mention of the textbook, but we don't even have it. Then you know that it's not like they are not learning, but there's actually a particular fundamental issue that needs to be addressed. And so that issue is addressed, it becomes a critical challenge. Do you understand me?
Yes, Prof.
Yeah. Yes, any other question, please? So we say the process, there are 5, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir, one last
Okay.
question.
Okay. Go ahead, Lord.
Is it always advisable to first get the algorithm for the problem before the prototype?
What algorithm?
That is a step-by-step where a problem is being solved. Let's say we want to, in a design thinking, we talk about prototype. That's the skeleton of how you're going to solve the problem. But before we can get a skeleton, is it always advisable to first get generating the prototype from the algorithm? I just want to know this, sir.
You see, Lord, what you are saying is a bit kind of, you want to sound complex, but it's not any problem that in the algorithm. If, assuming the people need water, do we need algorithm to know whether they need water or not? Are you getting me?
No, please.
So it depends on whatever situation at stake. If you are developing an app, that process is different from maybe trying to solve like a physical kind of a community challenge. And even though we say customer experience, we are not just looking at it from just an IT tech-based approach alone. No. The design thinking is about the entirety of the way society problems ought to be solved. Look at it from that perspective. Because it is marketing, we try to twerk it to suit a marketing situation. But that is just a minute aspect of the entire kind of process. Do you understand me?
Yes, Prof.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So now, when we talk about the prototype, is actually the last but one stage of the process. At the prototype stage, what we are trying to do is that whatever problem that we have, like we try to solve, now we have a fair idea as to what the problem is and what solution we have been able to develop. So based on the fact that we are developing the solution, but that is not the actual commercialization of the solution, but rather we are testing and see whether the things that we are suggesting will work or it will not work. So the prototype is like more or less a skeleton of what? The solution, but not the actual solution. Are you getting me? Because in certain situations, you realize that whatever is needed to solve the problem is quite expensive. And we cannot commit resources to do the actual implementation. If it fails, that means we throw money down the line. So we bring in a prototype, which is more or less like a skeleton of whatever we intend to do. And if it works, then we are now going to add meat to it and let it become the actual solution for us to test. Do you understand me?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Okay. Any other question, please? So we say empathy. Empathy is the first stage of the process because I gave you a cycle, and we have 5 thematic areas within that cycle. Empathy is the first stage. where we look at the like the problem itself, put ourselves in the shoes of the consumer, and know whether we are actually empathizing with that consumer in a way that we are able to address the situation. Because, like I said, we need to properly have a deep understanding of what the problem is. If you don't have a deep understanding of what the problem is, solving that problem will be very, very difficult. That one is non-negotiable. It's a fact. So that is the first. Then from empathy, we go to where, based on your notes, please.
Define.
You said?
Define.
Yeah. So how do you define the problem? Who can tell me?
Identifying the problem.
You say identifying the problem.
Yes, please.
No, the problem has already been identified based on the research that we did during the empathy stage.
Okay, sir. So the define process, you first need to analyze your observations from the finding from the first stage, that's the empathy.
Okay.
So when you analyze what you observe from the empathy stage, then you are going to tackle the key needs and challenges over there. From there, you are going to get some framework or specific human-centered problem and also guide yourself. So you analyze your observation and findings from the empathy state. I think that's the first procedure under the define.
Yeah, so when you are done, then you have to now come out with what the actual problem is. Is that not the case?
Yes, Prof.
Yeah, so like the most difficult aspect of design thinking is the problem definition. When you define the problem wrongly, the solution will be wrong. It's like what the IT people tell you, garbage in, garbage out kind of thing. Whatever input variable that is put in the system to run, the result that you get, if you put, garbage into the system, the outcome will not be the actual solution that is needed. And therefore, it creates what? A major problem. You waste resources for nothing. So problem definition, that's why I said we need to know, we are not going to treat just the symptoms. We want to treat the actual problem, the root cause of the problem, but not what we are observing. What we are observing is the symptoms, but what actually is the problem, we might not be in a position to bring it on board. So it is extremely important that we understand that. Then from there, we come to what? Ideate. What are the key things involved here? With the ideation, we are looking cannot be generated, then that means the problem becomes a challenge. So how do we generate the ideas? There are multiple ways of generating the ideas. One could be what we call brainstorming section. And what do we do with the brainstorming section? At the brainstorming section, we need to make sure that we invite more ideas. We allow the team members to come out with the ideas. The idea, assuming we have what do we call it? Maybe William as the one leading the brainstorming section. William is not supposed to be questioning people's ideas that they are bringing on board. Because once you do that, like I said, it will let people go back to their corner. Because maybe William says something, Richard is not like, Richard feel offended. Therefore, what they will say is that, okay, fine. If that is the case, Kenneth will tell Richard that, you see, that's what I said. You don't have to talk. Allow him to do whatever he wants to do. He thinks he's involved. Then it becomes like a situation where most of the ideas will not flow. But the ideas need to flow. And if the ideas are flowing, it makes our job more easier. If the ideas are not flowing, we are going to have limited ideas, and therefore we have few ideas to select from. Do we understand it?
Yes, please, we do.
Okay, so now, okay.
So please, during this ideation stage, is it only the professionals who meet to brainstorm, or they will include those recipients of this project? Is it from the grassroots with the professionals together, or it's only the professionals who meet to ideate?
Yes, in most cases, it ought to be with those who are providing the solution to the problem. Because remember, like you said, you use the term grassroots, right? The grassroots people, we empathize with them, and therefore they help us to define the problem. Are you getting me? So they don't have solution to their problem, but if they have solution to your problem, it will not be a problem for the first place. So what it is that now we are able to empathize with them, then based on that, we have been able to properly define the problem based on what they are telling us or based on our observation. Now we have a clear path to take that will help us to address the issue. So at this stage, you don't involve them that much because they don't have solution to that problem. They have told you what the problem is. Because they will come in again. And that is when you get to what? The test stage. At the circle, yes. That what they will, because when they are part of it, you raise a situation where they themselves cannot give you proper feedback when you get to the test stage, because already they see themselves as part of what? The people who develop the solution. So you leave them behind, work on it, and when you get it, you go back to them during the test to see whether it is resonating with them. Are you understanding me?
Yes, sir.
And that is actually, William, that's a very good question, because the import of the program is, or the course is, we need to involve them. We need to involve them. So it is good you ask that question. Yes. Any other question, please? Yeah. So from there, which stage do we move to? So what it is that after during the ideation stage, there are quite a lot of brainstorming sections. We have different approach. We have what we call mind mapping, where we generate the ideas based on, we put the central problem at the center on the board, assuming we are using it like a marker board. We put a problem at the center, then we make arrows. Then based on the arrows, we start like preferring the ideas one after the other against the arrows. There is also what we call, they say crazy 8. With a crazy 8, what it means is that they are given some 8 minutes to come up with any ideas without judging them. So each and every one will be given opportunity to deal with such a situation, like come up with your ideas within 8. Yeah, sorry, but I'm not sharing screen. So that is how come you are just seeing my name, because the file I have is on the other laptop. I've not actually put it on the cloud. So that is how it is. I'm not going to take my time because we will try to find out like a solution. I should have configured the laptop earlier, but I thought it wasn't time for me to do it. So sorry about that, but that is how it is. So we have different forms of idea generation that will go to them after the other. There's also a scamper model. It is an acronym. That one, so we look at it and see whether some of the ideas are substituted, some are taken out, that some are modified. That is what we call the scamper model. I will provide all those things to you. Then from there, after the idea stage, we move on to the next stage, like we generate the ideas. Now, the next thing within the ideation stage is we need to select the ideas, because first we were calling off the ideas without necessarily what judging them. So now we need to come back, sit by the table, and use certain parameters to judge the ideas. Which one are feasible and which one are not. The ones that are feasible, we will be able to keep it. The ones that are not, we should be in a position to just let it go. What I want us to know is that sometimes the idea could be the best in terms of how it's able to solve it, but feasibility wise is a problem in terms of sustainability. Maybe it is the good idea, but it is so expensive. So if it's so expensive, what do we do? And I gave you an example about this food supplement or nutrition that we did in terms of purchasing power capability. We realized that, look, as much as the product is good, even the pricing mechanism is a problem. And the product, the only way the product can make an impact is when we are able to source for funding somewhere and be able to give that funding to our people. Do we understand it? So once we've been able to get that, then we move on to a stage where we now develop what the prototype. And the prototype, like I said, we've discussed it a lot about the skeletal version of whatever we intend to do. Then from there, we move on to the test stage where we need to now test the prototype. Testing is very, very important. You cannot send the product to the market without testing. Sometimes we do test market. For people, what we can do is that in certain maybe product, we want to know whether the flavor of the product, assuming it's an edible kind of product, that let's say chocolate, and we want maybe people to taste the product. When they taste it, we will know whether in some cases we want to know how they feel about the taste. So what we will do is that maybe we give it like what the ice cream sellers do during the exhibition. They'll come and say, "Oh, eat it. How do you feel? What do you think about the product and all those things?" It's part of the test kind of approach. They will use it to reform the product based on the general or the popular consensus about what the product ought to be. In some cases, they have experts. They will not Yeah, hello?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I missed out a bit. I don't know. Yeah, so like I said, they can just get people who will just be observing what is happening without even saying anything. But because they are a bit of expert in what they do, they will be able to tell how people, like maybe you taste the ice cream, your facial expression through body language will let them know what your reaction will be. All these things are expert. Others too, even supermarket, they want to do self-arrangement. Sometimes they will not ask that where do you want the shelf to start from and all those things. All that they do is that, oh, the shop is open. Then they place cameras there. People who enter, where do they go first? It will tell you what type of product they need to put there. All these are part of mechanism that is being used in order to be able to get the best out of it. So once the test stage is done, they take a lot of feedback. And that feedback actually informs how the whole process could be implemented. Do we understand it, please?
Yes, sir.
What about the rest, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes, sir, it's clear.
yeah, so what I would do is that because the slides cannot be projected, I have to end the class here for today. How busy are you tomorrow morning?
Very, very busy, sir.
You said very busy. Church. Oh, we have pastors among us. Some of you are prophets.
Yeah, Prophet Lord.
Yes.
Yo.
Oh, okay. Well, you are already
Apostle
Lord. So,
Kenneth Crunchy.
Huh?
oh, okay. I don't know. I have, like, I could have used Professor Marco's time because he's not around. But
Sir, the class is in the afternoon.
I know. Let me finish.
Okay.
Kenneth, you understand me.
Okay, sir.
But I have 2 classes tomorrow.
Okay.
That class, all of them start the same time. So I don't know how it's possible. One is a seminar, and the other one is actual class.
Oh,
It's the same class. It's the same class, design thinking, but it is for the main graduate school. Yeah, for the main graduate school. They start at 3, and the seminar is also, the thesis clinic is also 3. So I don't know. I'm yet to see which one can be moved a bit backward, like a bit forward.
Okay.
Because with them, they need just an hour to finish because they have about, I'll meet them for quite a lot. They have about almost 12 weeks before they write the exams. So that one is not much of a problem. By your program, within a month, I have to finish. So, but design thinking is not a lot. So you'll be able to get that. What I'll do is even though I'll put all the slides by Monday on the learning management platform. I will also, Kenneth, you have to create a WhatsApp platform so I can share all the information with you people. So those who cannot go on the learning management system should be able to also access the information.
Okay, please.
Okay. Yes. Any question for me? And my new students, welcome. And I hope you have a good stay. Hello.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Oh, you are new.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. William, then that is great. And for the ladies, I don't even hear of them. Why?
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Stefan, you have to talk. I mean, marketing, we talk. Oh.
Okay, we'll be talking more.
Hey.
Yeah, Papa can talk. Oh.
You said,
Papa, say something.
Papa, Papa is now like when I was in secondary school. In our class, it was a science class, and we have only one lady there. We used to have only one lady there, so she was like a darling to everybody. Till when we moved to a combined class, then there is a problem because a combined class, especially when we go and do math, we have a lot of ladies in the class, so it makes the situation change all of a sudden. It's quite good. Please, let's just work together. I want everybody. If you have any problem, please let me know, because apart from teaching you, I'm also the coordinator for the program. So we work around the clock, and let us finish very well, so that I can wear my nice suit and come for the graduation. Okay. Yeah, so let's end the class here, because we have new people in there, and the slides, if they are not there, it's not the best. I will make sure that I will extract everything and put on the new laptop, so some of these problems will go away.
Okay,
all right.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much, and have a lovely Saturday. And when Lord get to church, you pray for all of us. So.
Sure, I'll do that. Alhamdulillah.
Lord,
Hey, now you become a Muslim.
Hey.
Lord,
oh, what? Oh.
Okay then. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Class rep our chocolate. I beg.
Yeah, but face-to-face class, none of them are more.
Charlie, those who are having 2 girlfriends, push me one.
Hey, what do you want? Shoni. Bye-bye.
What's your Lord?
Bye-bye, you. Go and talk to your supervisors and continue with your project. Why? Bye-bye.